This is a training session in Little Green Light with Linda Holton, August 11th, 2021. All right, let's. All right, can you see that screen there?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the dashboard, as they call it. And I can see right at a glance when I look at the contributions for 2021 that you put some entries in there, see?
Okay.
And then I got an email also, because that's one thing I set up yesterday, is that I be notified anytime a gift is entered. So it sends me automatically an email notifying me that a gift has been entered by so-and-so for a certain amount. And I think you put a sample gift in there from yourself, only you used a different first name.
Yes.
Is that right? Cole, you use Cole?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. So, of course, what we'll do is we'll delete those. But let's take a look at, see what we can figure out. Because it's been a long time since I did this, too. Probably 7 or 8 years since I last did it. Because I had a guy doing it up in Greenville. He's gotten kind of busy. He's a school teacher now. So it's just hard to get him to do it on a timely basis. He'll do it, but what we really need to be most effective with this, Linda, is a very timely receipt. I like to get a receipt out as soon as it's deposited, frankly. So let's take a look at this aspect of it and see if we can figure out together what we're trying to do here. So if we just highlight that fundraising menu option there, you figured out how to add the gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've done that. You don't have any problem with that.
Right.
Campaigns, we're going to eliminate that for now. But, you know, we talked before about starting to use this system to generate money. And that's what we would do in the future. Let's say that we decide to do a Uganda campaign where we're going to send out a series of emails and, you know, other things about that to raise it. Okay. So that's what a campaign is. An appeal would be just one-time event, I think, is the difference. And then events, that's if something you're doing special, like a dinner or something like that. Now, acknowledgement here is really what we're dealing with, right there.
Okay.
So let's click on that. And then we have the ability to download and print files. And let me turn my printer on. And see, here's one that was set up back in 2020, which was probably the year-end acknowledgments we send out to those who donated during the year. So that's why that's the last time that was sent right there. Okay. Now, all right, I'm just, excuse me. I think that maybe this is where we have unacknowledged gifts.
So does that change as you send one? Does it know and it removes it off the unacknowledged list?
Yeah, I think once you send a receipt, it takes it. In other words, it keeps it in this list here until you actually send a receipt out. So I'm going to move down here a little bit where we can look at this list. And you see you're an unacknowledged gift. Now, was that the actual gift amount you gave on July 6th?
Yes, and I didn't realize that PayPal takes out some fees. They don't tell you. I think when you use a credit card, they do say that they take out the fees, or you can pay whatever. But I saw on PayPal that they deducted it.
Yeah, I saw that. What was good about it though is automatically transferred the little green light, and I've got to investigate that. In fact, let me make some notes as we go along here. Things I need to do. Today, I'm not going up to the real estate project we've been working on, so I'm going to try and get a number of things done and find out how PayPal does that automatically. It's probably something we set up, whoever created that. I had a man working for me that did that website, and he set that up. And we want to get the credit card working in there too, which is a different company. I'm making a note here a minute. Okay. And all right. So see, you're here, acknowledgement preference. And I noticed, I don't know if you noticed that when you're entering your sample gifts, it gives you an opportunity when you set up a donor or somebody we've received a gift from to show how they want to be acknowledged. Some people don't want mail. They want everything email.
Okay.
So you can email them a receipt and they'll be happy with it.
Okay.
And at the end of the year, the acknowledgement we send out, most people call them statements. At the end of the year, we send out a statement showing all the gifts that somebody has given during the year for their income tax purposes. All right.
Okay.
And for your information, if anybody asks you, we are a legitimate 501c3 organization. That means that gifts to us are income tax deductible.
Okay.
And there are online sites that people can go to find out if an organization is currently registered with the IRS as a 501c3. All right. So the acknowledgement preference here is can be set, I guess. And so we'd want the new acknowledgement GMI 2021, which is the one I made up. See that right there? In other words, if you go look at the templates, I renamed it just so we know that's the recent one. Now what we got to figure out is how you actually print that. Well, let's try double clicking it and see what happens there. Yeah, that did it, didn't it? Let's see. Now it shows us what you're going to get. See any mistakes in that? And then before you mail this, you can sign my name in there.
Okay. How do I do that?
Well, you're going to print it out. It's going to be printed out. Do you have a printer?
Yeah. So you're saying this is not the email one. This is a letter that's going to be printed.
Yeah, this is printed, right.
And I can use just an ink pen and sign your name.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I would do it in blue ink so people realize that, it's actually been signed by somebody.
Okay.
And occasionally I might, what I'm going to be doing is sending you by email. I'm going to email you the names and addresses of our donors so far this year, so we can make sure that they're all in there. And in some cases, I might say, put this PS on it. So in other words, then you can handwrite a PS on it from something. That's something that's useful to do sometimes for people to realize that you're paying attention, that is me as the president is paying attention to what they're doing. So sometimes I might ask that, a handwritten PS be put on there for them
Okay,
after you print it out, okay?
okay,
And then you actually can type in a PS as well.
okay. That looks good.
Yeah. So let's see if we can figure out how to actually get this to print now.
Where's his address block preview? Is the
Yeah,
address
it's going to open on Word on your computer. See, open with
Okay.
Word, so that you can print it from normally like you would any Word document from your computer. I think that's the way it works. Let's see,
Okay,
which is good because you're used to printing from Word, right?
yes.
There it is. And you can enable editing at the top.
And Word didn't come up on my screen.
Well, it wouldn't on yours. It wouldn't on yours because you have to be doing this on yours in order for the word to come up.
Okay,
Are you seeing mine though? You're seeing mine come up, right? Are you seeing my letter here?
yes, I see your letter.
Okay. But when you do this and you're the one logged in and without, I'm doing it on Zoom right now. You're just looking at what I'm doing. This is not happening on your computer. All that's happening on your computer is you're seeing my computer from your computer. You got that?
Yes,
Okay. So you're not actually doing it. But when you do this, in other words, when you go through and do this, this will pop up as a Word document on your computer. Okay. And since we enabled editing, for example, then you can actually come in and put a PS in. You can type a PS in. If that's right. I forgot whether it's P.S. or just PS.
I like dots.
Pardon?
I like dots.
You like
Doesn't
them?
matter.
Okay. Uppercase,
Yes.
like that.
Well, I don't see.
You didn't see what I typed in?
No.
Do you see the letter itself?
Yes. And it says letter content, dear Linda, then it has the letter.
And then look underneath Mel Schell president. I just typed in PS. Do you see that there?
There's nothing there yet.
Ah,
I don't see
okay.
anything.
You can't see any of that, huh?
No.
Oh, that's interesting why that doesn't show up. Well, at any rate, it will. In other words, once you enable editing on yours, you can type in a PS down there because I just did it. I don't know why it won't show up on yours. But at any rate, once that's in there, we have it right, then all you need to do is to go through the normal procedure for printing.
Okay.
All right. So can you see me now going to print on my Word document?
No.
You're not seeing that either?
No, but now on the top of my screen, I have LGL fundraising on the very top left corner, and then next to it is LGL mailing details. Should I click on that?
Yeah. Click on those and see if they'll open up for you.
They do not. One question I have is on the return address, do you want me to put your address or mine?
Yes. Yeah. No, my address. Because that's where the gifts are sent. There's 3834 Clubhouse Circle. That's our official address for Growth Ministries International.
Okay.
Okay, so you can't see what I'm doing here. Okay, let me find out why the screen share is not going this far. Well, let me first of all just print this out to make sure it works, that I'm telling you will work. Yes, it printed out fine. And one of the things that we will do, Linda, is we'll get some letterheads printed for Growth Ministries International, okay? Because right now it's just printed on a plain piece of paper. Let me see what else happened here. Why, I don't know. Yeah, what is it? It did not put your address in here. So I have to go back in and see maybe what got transferred over from PayPal didn't have your address in it. So we'll have to edit that. That's why I wanted to go through this. All right, well, let me back up and see if we can get you to find out where your Zoom stops working. All right, can you see the screen now? Can you see the letter now?
I see the letter. It doesn't have the address.
No, it doesn't have the address, but it does have the letter. And what's below my name, Mel Schell, President? What's below there?
Nothing other than created by Andrew Dara on August 11th.
Ah, you're seeing something different than I'm seeing, huh? Because I don't have that on mine. And why, I don't know. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to take Andrew out of there. He's the one that used to do them, and we're going to put your name in there. I have to figure out how to do that. Apparently, there's an automatic setup in here where it shows the person who's actually sending these out just for record purposes of who sent it out, you know, especially in some organizations where they have multiple people doing these. I would that we had that problem. Did I tell you that they finally got their money in Uganda yesterday? Oh, what a struggle it was to get that $3,000 to them.
But
wow.
You know, the other time it went almost instantly. Like, remember the one that was?
Yeah, I know that's what's bizarre. It can go instantly, but this one was held up primarily by Western Union themselves. They're afraid that they're going to get scammed and have to pay out money. So they're just being very reluctant to send any money to some of these African countries where there's a lot of scams going on. All right, let me back up on this and find out why you can't see. All right, are you seeing now back in little green light the screen?
I'm still seeing the letter, the acknowledgement letter.
Yes, but it should now be different. It should be showing it in little green light, not in Word. You should be out of Word now.
I was never in Word.
Well, you were, you just didn't know it.
Oh.
Oh, is this what you've always seen right here? Where it says on the top, review, download, and print?
Yes.
All right, so this is what you've always seen.
Yes.
Ah, okay. What we may have, let me try this again. What we may have to do is do a new screen share on the Word document. That may be it. Let's go through that. Just help me to learn here how to use Zoom better. All right, so now we're going to do. Oh, okay. On the bottom is that where it says created by Andrew Dara. I see. So you've always been seeing this screen right here. This is what you're seeing now where it says mailing files on the upper right corner, letters download, envelopes download.
Correct.
So when you click this download here, what happens is it opens up Word. Are you seeing this now? This box that popped up?
Yes.
Open with Word. All right, so here's what we're probably going to have to do. In order for you to see that, I probably need to go and do a screen share on it. All right. So I'm going to do that. Now, can you see Word?
Yes.
Now you can see the letter in Word, huh?
Correct. I'm not able to navigate in it, but so like what I'm seeing is yours for the love of the Savior, and now I'm getting the rest of it. And so I don't see your PS in there,
No,
but
because I didn't save that. Apparently, if you make a change here, it changes the master letter if you save it. In other words, if I just wanted a PS one time to go out, let me put one in here now. Can you see what I'm typing?
yes, I do.
Okay, so you could put a PS on one that would just, you only want to go out one time. But if you're through this, so, okay, now I print this by going up here, and clicking on print over here, right? I'm not going to do it because I already printed it one time. All right, once we're through that and we're through, I close this up. It says you want to save your changes to NEWAC GMI dot letters one doc. And all right, I'm going to go ahead and save it just to see if it changes our master file.
Okay.
It may only save this particular email that was sent out to you. So let me see what it changes. All right, so I'm going to save it.
Okay.
And then we'll look at our master file and see if it changed it. Now, okay. Now we need this. I'm going to set up on mine. I'd recommend you do on yours too. Set up a subdirectory under GMI for receipts. Right now, it's just going to, I don't know where it's going, not any place I want it to be. So I'm going to set up a subdirectory under my documents file. See, here's some receipts from I set up in 2018. Can you see that?
Yes.
So we're going to set up GMI receipts 2021. Hold on just a minute, Lynn.
Sure.
Hey, let me call you back in a minute. Son, let me call you back in a minute. All right. Now I'm going to save this here. That name there, I don't know how we would know what that means. So let me put something in here so I know what this is. All right. So now I got to go back in and reshare the LGL here. Okay. Now you're back into LGL. You can see that, right?
Yes.
I think there's an ability in here to share multiple screens. Let me see if we can do that. Well, that's become confusing. We just come back in. All right, so now take a look at the, all right, see, so it did not change this letter, which is good. So I guess what you can do is save that and name it to who it went to and on the date, kind of like I did. And you can probably shorten that up a lot. The file name I created when I saved it.
Yes.
If it has something special in it, but the thing I don't like about it right now, just looking at it, doesn't tell you who it went to. And later on, if for some reason you need to find those, I don't know, it wouldn't be very useful to have a whole bunch of those on the screen, not knowing what they actually meant. Although there may be a code in there that matches to the file someplace. Perhaps you can check into that as you work with this a little bit more. All right, in other words, so that's how you do the letter. Let's see how to do the envelope. Oh, well, we got to go back and give you an envelope. I mean, give you an address because we don't have that right now. So we're going to go back to constituents. Yeah, see, it doesn't have your address in here. Oh, it has your ID in there. That may be the number that was showing in that ID number right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have the gift in here, but what we don't have is an address for you. So what we got to do is come in here and edit that. Now let's see where it gives us your address.
When you next on the previous screen next to my name, it had was that actions or something?
I didn't see it. Let's see. Go back.
Do you see
Yeah.
Linda Holt?
No,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
What is that?
Edit constituent. That's what I needed right there. Good eye, Linda.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, so I can go in and fill that in.
Well, I'll just do it right now, just so we can
Okay.
figure out where the address is on this thing. Well, it gives you a lot of information on somebody. All of this is useful, especially for schools and colleges where they're dealing with, single women who get married and you still need to track them. Birthday. I still don't see your addressee label name. All right. So there's got to be a place for the.
It has an address label, addressee label name. Oh. Will that let you edit?
Yeah. So let's put in your street address here, or where your emails go, or where your letters go.
230 Wisteria, Wisteria. Take out that E. It's Wisteria. Yeah, Wisteria. There you go. Circle. Sorry. Circle. Roswell. And the zip code is 30076.
That may be the only place they have a address.
And now how do you save that?
Well, as soon as we're done, they're going to have a save function on the bottom, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
Right down here.
okay.
See
That's
it?
good. Mm-hmm.
Let's see if there's a place, someplace else in here to keep the address. It seems like there should be, doesn't it?
It's so long.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of information that you can keep up with different organizations. Remember, this
There's
is
mailing.
developed for schools where you have a lot of relationships involved in colleges, especially, you know, all that. All right, here's the mailing addresses. Apparently, they have multiple mailing addresses, which is true for, you know, a lot of people have a business address. They have a summer address, some people. And then here's how to contact them. You can contact them by all three ways. And here's your phone number. What's your phone number? Let's go ahead.
404-993-5062.
And then you can add additional phone numbers. And you can identify that's a cell phone, right?
Yes, it is.
And that's the one you prefer to be contacted by, right?
Yes.
And then you can add additional phone numbers here, which is good. This is a very good contact manager here. In other words, it allows you to do a lot of information about somebody. And then you can use that later on when you're doing mailing campaigns and such. It is a little cumbersome, but at the same time, it gives you a lot of options. All right, so here it has other mailing addresses. See, so for example, this is your home address. We'll go ahead. This is where you put what we had before. Give me that street again.
230 Wisteria Circle, Roswell.
Then it's got a city.
30076.
And this we need because eventually, like we'll have mailing addresses. Right already for Dean Hill, for example, in South Africa. I have a mailing address for him. And then websites, if you have a website, and some people do, and we're dealing with here. And then you can create relationships between constituents.
Oh.
So you could have, for example, you might have, like, for example, Jeremy's my son, for example. Now, MailChimp we're not using right now, but ultimately we may. Are you familiar with MailChimp?
My son-in-law works for MailChimp.
You told me that, yeah. We may want to use that if we get a larger mailing list, because one of the problems we have right now on emails is everybody sees everybody on the email. Unless you click, there's ways you can get around that, but it's complicated.
I do think that related constituents is helpful because you might have the mother-in-law of whatever, and then you realize that they're related. I've used that before at the church.
Yes, yeah.
You find people.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you locate people. Sure, exactly. And we will use that too, okay? And then category types is, I guess this is the relationship you're dealing with here. What's the relationship? Yeah, we're going to call you a, see, we're able to add to these groups here.
I saw that and I didn't know.
Yeah, see, for example, we could make up a group for contributors to CECA, for example.
Okay.
So we're going to identify you as staff. And then here's a list of churches that we've put in already for the Gainesville area. We keep track of where people go to church. And then here's the acknowledgement preference. In other words, do they want it mailed to them, emailed to them, or none at all?
Okay.
And so you prefer email, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. But some people, unless they say otherwise, we want to mail it to them.
Okay.
And the reason is because right now people get more unwanted emails than they do unwanted real mail, post office delivered mail for most people.
That's true.
And so if you're sending them a new email, it might go into their garbage bin, the spam mail. Well, so anyway, we'll try and get that from information, but we will send it direct mail unless we tell it. Now, we do have one gift that came in where he doesn't want acknowledgement, and I'll show you that. So the reason I need to go through this is because when I send these people over to you to do, I'll have to give you this information so you know how to set them up. So this is one guy who doesn't need any acknowledgement, but we're going to email him one anyway, just so he knows for sure we got his money. Because if you don't send somebody some kind of acknowledgement, then they have doubts, and do they really get my money, and they have to wait and see if their check cleared and all that. And then you have different ways to code them, getting back to what you were talking about previously using this for, which is friend raising, fundraising, prayer partners, and all that. Some people will have preferences for how often they want you to contact them, for example. See this communication tags? So this is a very powerful system, which is why, even though Little Green Light's fairly expensive, I've kept it because when I evaluated them in the beginning, I've actually written software like this myself in the past. So I'm pretty familiar with what all the issues are, They're one of the best out there in terms of being very flexible to do a lot of different things and managing a mailing list, okay? And then here's one interest. How interested are they in what we're doing? All right. So this is the master file. This is memberships. And of course, we don't have memberships, but some organizations do that are using this. They might be like the American Legion or somebody like that, right? And then here's schools. If you're dealing with somebody who's involved in education. Now, stewards, what a steward is somebody who's been given responsibility for relating to that particular contact. All right. So right now it's going to be you for everybody. Okay. So when you set them up, you'll want to click on yourself down here as the primary steward. All right. Does this make sense to you, Linda?
Yes.
All right. And then here's just a place for background information on the person. All right. And periodically, what I might do is come in and look at new donors, where rather than me having to send it to you and you retype it, which I will do sometimes, but sometimes I may not get around to it. So what I may periodically do is come back into here and get into these files and add some information like that myself about that person. Okay.
Okay.
So do you have some idea now of the master file on everybody?
Yes.
I think we've got your information in there now. So now we'll go back. We're going to save this. Now we're going to do a letter and see if it's got your address in it. Okay. Notice now it updated to August 11th, which is today's date. I'm sending an acknowledgement. Uh,
Mm.
Now you're not going to be able to see this. All right, this is all the people in our file. This is old stuff here. I just wanted to see how it was working. It's working fine. I'm going to kill it. This is not recent stuff. You can't see this right now because I have to share this screen with you in order for you to see it.
What is this 16 recipients for there? There's on the right-hand side.
Yeah, those were people who gave to us in previous years. For some reason, they're still, I don't know when this was done, they were not marked as having been receipted.
Okay.
So what I'm going to have to do is go through here and clean this up so that you have a clean file to work with. And I'm just checking out some of these other options here. All right, let me see how we can get your name back up there again. Oh yeah, we went to unacknowledged gifts.
Okay.
Apparently that marked you because before we saw your name here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not seeing on my phone that I got an email. If it would have been sent.
I did send an email. I printed yours.
Oh,
I printed
okay.
yours out. Yeah, I didn't send you an email.
Got it. Okay.
So so it marked you. See, what it won't do is let you send the same receipt twice. There's a way you can get around that. You have to come in and change something in it. Huh. All right. What I'm going to do now, Linda, rather than keeping you on here for a long time, I think you've got the general idea. I need to go in here and clean it up a little bit. For example,
Okay.
we shouldn't have 16 recipients there. They need to be acknowledged because they were acknowledged. They're not even there. You know, some of them are 4 years old. So I need to get those out of there, and I'll figure out how to do that. And then I'm going to send you a list of the ones that need to be reseated.
Oh,
Right.
good.
And I think you can do that. And again, you should be able to put a test email in there that should be showing up here. And I don't know why it isn't. So let me, rather than keeping you on while I get familiar with this again, let me go through this. And then we'll do another training event maybe later today if you have time after I've spent some time with it, just so I can show you for sure how to do these things. Because it's a little confusing watching me because you can't see all the screens I'm going to. And it takes a lot of time for me to share the other screen with you, all right? In Word. So I'll get that working.
Okay. And I saw that I see that it's recording, and I wanted to know if I could have a copy of the recording.
Well, sure.
Sometimes I will review it, just
Yeah,
not always.
that's exactly why I recorded it. Yeah, right. That's the advantages of Zoom. You can do a lot of things with it. We just need to become more familiar with it. All right. Well, thanks so much, Linda. Linda, let's have a word of prayer before we close this, and pray for what we're doing here because it's very important. I know it is to you, and it is to me as well. And thank God for what He's doing. So why don't you pray first, and I'll pray.
Okay.